I'm here with Thomas Sorensen. Thomas, how are you?
I'm very good. It's great to be talking Browns.
Come on the Browns!
Oh my God, breaking news.
Come on the Browns!
It's a rock and roll lifestyle, but I try and keep my feet on the ground.
Good morning, Cleveland. I'm here with an absolute legend of a football player, or we could say soccer, as most of you are listening in America. I have to talk a little bit soccer because I need everyone to know that if I'm correct, you've got over 100 caps for Denmark internationally.
Yes, and a couple of World Cups, a couple of European Championships. So yeah, I've been around.
Excellent. Mate, thank you very much for your time. First of all, let's ask, we're a Browns podcast. Why are you a Browns fan?
You know, I've always been a fan of the NFL for probably the last 20 years. I played for Aston Villa probably 13 years ago, and it got bought by Randy Lerner, who at that time owned the Browns. And we went over on a preseason tour, went to Cleveland, visited Berea, the training ground, and all the players got a helmet and a jersey. And I said to myself, without knowing much about Cleveland, I actually said to myself, well, I'll start supporting the Browns. And then it all unraveled with the history. But, you know, I've been a happy supporter ever since. I love an underdog, so it's been perfect for me.
Excellent. And did you meet any Browns players when you were out there?
Yeah, we probably did because we went to a barbecue. So it was just before their training camp. So yeah, we were there with the families and some of the players. But, you know, honestly, you know, I didn't know them at that time. I would probably have much preferred going to a barbecue today where I actually know everyone, at least from a distance. But yeah, no, it was a great experience. We got, we got shown around, the weight room and the training facilities, and also got a look into what the NFL was compared to soccer. So it was very interesting.
Any differences you saw between the NFL and how a Premier League club was run?
No, but there's obviously a lot of strength and speed involved in the NFL. And what we could sort of gather is that there's so many things that are measured and so many things, that tests that you have to go through to even be able to join the training. And just the amount of weights they lift. You know, we went in and I think there was a sort of a leaderboard of bench press. I don't think I was ever just on half of that when they were pushing, benching some of these guys. And you know, just the level of difference. You know, you have the big guys, you have the fast guys. And, you know, we don't quite have that in soccer where everyone is quite similar in build. So that was something really interesting.
Did the whole team have to come across to Cleveland? Or was it your choice whether to make the trip across?
No. It was a preseason tour, so it was a training camp as well. We played Columbus Crew just down the road, and went down to Dallas after. Played a game there, and we played a game in Toronto. So it was a serious training tour, you know. So the hours we spent at Berea was a nice relief from the tough workouts.
Any other of your Aston Villa teammates that loved the NFL at the time, or?
You know, I've Asmir Begovic, who I played with at Stoke City. He's a huge Patriots fan. Kasper Schmeichel, who's a good friend of mine, who obviously plays for Denmark now and plays for Leicester City in the EPL. He's also a Patriots fan, so I'm up against it a little bit. But I'm hoping. I've been sort of warning them that now is the time, and we're going to get the better of them.
Any football players or soccer players that are Browns fans you know of as well?
Nah, you know, you bump into the odd person as a Browns fan when you're in Australia or if you're in Denmark. But overall, I think people have been hiding a little bit. I've been trying to sort of show the colours. Thankfully now, it seems like a few have come out of the closet and are showing up as proud fans, which is only nice that they get the recognition and the support that is there.
Do you know that there's about 500 Browns fans in Australia?
I know. I've sort of started getting, you know, I've sort of stayed away from the social media side a little bit on the sort of NFL, not getting too involved. But actually just looking around, you can see that, you know, it's fantastic how many Browns fans, not just in Australia, but all around the world. You know, it's amazing how well supported the club is, and even through the bad times, you know, it just shows that, you know, the history of the team and the franchise and everything, and the people have kept believing since, even through these tough years.
Yeah, and yourself, have you actually ever seen an NFL game live?
Yeah, I saw a couple of games in London. Sadly, I'd already moved to Australia when Cleveland played there a couple of years ago. This year, because I finished playing soccer 2 years ago, and a dream of mine was obviously to go to America and watch. And this year, I'm dragging my family to Cleveland. We're going to watch the Rams game. I can't wait. I'll be like a child at Christmas. I'll be down in the fan shop. I'll be there 4 hours early. So, it'll be an amazing experience. And following from afar and then suddenly to be right in the middle of it will be fantastic.
I think that's one game that I may not be able to make. So I'm aiming to try and do 10 games from London this year, going backwards and forwards across the Atlantic, trying to get cheap flights I possibly can, sleep on sofas to keep it reasonable. I think that's going to be one of the hardest games that we got this season.
Yeah, no, I think that obviously the Rams had a great year last year, but also it'll be a great test. It seems like the team is up for a challenge. I think that I love the confidence that everyone is showing and the belief. It'll be nice with a good start. And the Rams game will probably be the first big test after the Titans and the Jets. So and it's a home game, so who knows? A great Sunday night game. Should be great atmosphere, and why not beat the Rams?
The Browns have sold out their stadium, so have you actually got tickets yet?
Yeah, no, I've got tickets, but I had probably everyone else had to go on the sort of some of the ticket websites and get them. I didn't dare wait until sort of the last minute, so I said, all right, better fork out and get some good tickets early, and then rest assured that I'll be there.
How many days are you actually in Cleveland for?
We're actually going, so we're flying via LA into Columbus, and actually on the Saturday the plan is to watch Ohio State play.
Wow.
And then drive up to Cleveland on the Saturday night and stay until Tuesday. And then we're actually going down to Dallas for a few days and then back to LA. It's going to be a little bit of a football trip and a family trip. I can't just drag them over there just for the NFL. That'd be hard It'd be a hard sell.
Hall of Fame in Cleveland, you could go and visit. Canton.
Yeah.
Sorry, about an hour away.
Yeah. I'm definitely going. I've sort of said to the family, we want them to go to the games, and then do they want to come for that? I'll definitely be going. And for me, Cleveland, it's sort of because I'm following it. You probably like the Cleveland Browns daily with Segura and Bishop. I'm listening to that whenever I can, and I'm even starting to sort of following some of the other sports in Cleveland. So it's like a second city, really. I feel for Cleveland. I've played in Stoke City in England, which is a sort of a working class, blue collar town as well, and so I've lived it myself, and I know what people think and what people feel, and how much passion there is for the football team. And for me, it was like just going back to the roots, really, to sort of get stuck into Cleveland. And I can't wait to go.
Bo Bishop says Cleveland's like Liverpool. My view is Cleveland's more like Newcastle, and you've obviously been playing at Sunderland. Would you agree with that or not?
Again, I can't wait to go just to soak up the atmosphere. I'm sure, and from the distance, it seems like it's changed a fair bit. Probably not as tough as it probably used to be. But I can't wait to just feel the spirit of the place and meet the people and hear the roar in the stadium, and just the the whole tradition around the games. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
And you weren't tempted to come out for the Brown-Steelers game? A bit like the Sunderland-Newcastle derby?
Yeah, no, the NFL games, obviously it'll be different in America, but, the ones I've went to in London was very cultured affairs. Sometimes soccer games can be quite hectic, and definitely the Newcastle-Sunderland derbies weren't always pleasant. There was some strong emotions, and but that's part of sport as well. And I love that as a player on the pitch. You want that energy, and you want that to sort of feed onto the field. And hopefully this year we can get that going in the First Energy Stadium as well. Get some wins and get the excitement.
Mate, top tip for you, okay? When you're in the stadium, it's called a bee burger. And you walk around the stadium, and it's one of the vending things. They have an atomic burger in there, which is super spicy. See if you can eat one of them.
Okay. Will I enjoy the game afterwards, or?
Probably not. No, I was in tears with Spice. So, have you actually kicked an NFL ball before?
Yes, because I've been involved in charity for a fair few years, and part of that charity was Morten Andersen, who's now at the Hall of Fame, the Danish kicker who played for. He was at New Orleans, Atlanta, and he actually challenged me to a kicking contest. It was a fair few years ago. He taught me how to kick, because it's very different from kicking a soccer ball, because you have to you have to angle your foot and get the spin on the ball, and your foot is more straight. Kicking a soccer ball being obviously a round ball, and I found it easier as I sort of got along, but it's hard, and especially with the snapping of the ball and the setting of everything, and then just imagining people charging down your throat, that it takes some guts for these kickers, and the immense pressure they're on as well.
Did you work out how far you can actually kick it?
I did about 60, but it was not with a lot of accuracy. So I don't think, I probably needed a bit more practice. I gradually started to master it. So I think as a soccer player, and you can sort of sense that a lot of the kickers, or there's a few of the kickers that has a background in soccer, I think you have that kicking motion, and it's just a small adjustment and off you go. So, maybe I should have chosen a different career back in the day.
Last year, the Browns kicker actually came to London, Zane Gonzalez, and we went to watch Chelsea together. And I challenged him to a competition, kicking it over Marble Arch in London. But I'm afraid to say we both got too drunk and forgot about the challenge. So if you ever come to London, there's a challenge for you to see if you can kick it over Marble Arch.
Okay, I'll take that up.
But there's a NFL player at 46 years old, Adam, the Colts kicker. Yeah, you've still got some years in you. Have you ever thought? Harry Kane said that after his soccer career, he's going to go to the NFL and be a kicker. Have you been tempted?
No, yeah, it probably sort of deep down you would love to be part of it, because it's I'm a big fan of but I'm also very realistic, and I don't think I would obtain a lot of respect coming over there as a 43-year-old and expecting to go right into the NFL when you got some young guns there who's a lot fitter and a lot stronger than I am. So, I can't wait to watch it. I think my time as a top athlete is behind me. I'm still staying active, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, Greg Joseph, the Browns kicker at the moment, who's up against a real tough challenge at the moment. He's actually a Man United fan.
I'm not going to hold it against him.
I do. I'm a Chelsea fan in London, so but yeah, jokes aside, I met him in Cleveland, and we had a bit of a joke about it. Let's talk Browns. What do you think our win-loss record's going to be this season?
I'm always a glass half full type of guy, and if everything can come together, on paper it looks certainly very, very good. I hope they training camp the right way and get everything gelling, and I see definitely 10 wins, hopefully more. So that should hopefully get us into the playoffs. There's always going to be some games where you expect to win and you end up losing. I'll be happy with 10-6 in Freddie Kitchen's first year, and obviously with a few players coming in and some of the young guys, some of the draft picks hopefully contributing. So yeah, 10-6 would be good for me. Excellent.
And if you want to get a jersey when you're over in Cleveland, whose name are you going to get on the back?
Oh, I think that there's a few, but you can't help get the leader of the team on the back of your shirt. I love the swagger of Baker Mayfield. I think the confidence that he shows, and I just hope that he can carry that into this year and just keep improving, because if what we saw last year is just a small part of what he can become, then watch out NFL, I think.
Odell Beckham, what were your thoughts when the Browns signed him?
No, I think it's just it shows what kind of job Dorsey has done. I think it shows with the right kind of leadership, right kind of vision, and some cutthroat business as well, that he's been able to turn it around and pull a deal like that off, because you're getting the biggest player in the league at his prime. I think that's unheard of, that a team that on paper has not won anything for so many years is getting that sort of player. So, that tells me that people from the outside now are starting to take the Browns seriously and respecting them, and actually seeing it as a place that they want to come and want to come and win. So yeah, otherwise Beckham would definitely not have showed his face in Cleveland for sure.
Yeah, I think that it's a really good point, is that now Cleveland is a dream destination for any NFL player because we've got so much talent here and we're in we could say the Super Bowl window. So coming in the next 2-3 years, we should be looking at the playoffs and then with the push for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. That should be the goal. And, you're just hoping that everything comes together and, a good start as well. Get everything rolling. That would be ideal. Get a win against the Titans in the first game. And then, I can definitely see them winning against the Jets. And then for sure they'll win when I'm there. So that'll be a 3-0 start. So I'll take it.
Thomas, that's a big call beating the Rams. But yeah, anything's possible. It's a late Sunday game, if I'm correct, the Rams.
Yeah, I think it's 8:20 p.m. So it's a Sunday night game, which is great that we're getting a bit of exposure. It's about time. I think hasn't been a lot. I've obviously been watching it from afar, and there hasn't been a lot of prime time for sure. So it's nice.
And just remind everyone, what time is the game on in Melbourne? If you want to watch a 1 o'clock game in Cleveland, what time is it in Melbourne?
It's sort of I think it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I love sort of empty house, quiet. Kids asleep, you can focus on everything, no distractions, and that's nice. Then probably try to get a kip in the afternoon to just make it through the day. But yeah, no, I love watching it. So yeah.
Thomas, one day I look forward to meeting you either in Cleveland or London. I've told all the Australian fans, if we get a meet-up and we get 50 Browns fans in one city, they have to argue between Melbourne and Sydney or Perth, then I'd fly over and we can do a huge Browns backers meet up, watch a game together, and I would love that to happen in Australia. It'd be great if you came along too with your Mayfield jersey on at some point.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, if it's happening, I'll do everything I can to get there.
And do you think that you could get the bug like myself, and you go to game 3 against the Rams, and then you may just be coming out again later in the season? Then I don't know, maybe a flight from Melbourne to LA. Travel up to San Fran and maybe see the 49ers, or Phoenix is quite west of America. You could fly into that game as well.
I think my goal is that hopefully we'll make the playoffs, and then I'll do whatever I can, and hopefully a home game playoff, and then I'll do whatever I can to go to that game. I don't know quite my schedule for the rest of the year, so far that's sort of the trip, and then we'll see whatever comes. But why not go to the Super Bowl as well? Get a playoff game and go to the Super Bowl, and then that'll be fantastic.
I'm actually in Vegas for CS Electronics show at the start of January, so I'm going to gamble. I'm going to get a flight out on the Friday for 1 week, the first week of the playoffs, and then hopefully get a flight out maybe on the Sunday or Monday back to London, with the view that if we make the playoffs, I fly Vegas to the game and then fly the game back to London. It's started getting real now that we could be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, no, I think so. Again, I think what we saw end of last season or second half of last year was what we should see, and hopefully a bit more this year. Everything Baker Mayfield in his second year, Freddie Kitchens a little bit more comfortable. There's obviously some new coaches, new defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator that needs to be incorporated. But I think the talent is so much better than last year. There's obviously been added some pieces on the lines, and which should make us even stronger. So yeah, I can't see it. It'll be a huge surprise to myself if we don't make the playoffs.
Thomas, thank you so much for your time. Where can people find your details?
They can go on Twitter, Sorensen1. I'll be there from time to time. I'm not a vivid social media person, but I'm posting, and I'll definitely be commenting on the Browns when the season starts.
Thomas, thank you very much for your time. Go Browns, and I'm really excited to hear how your trip goes from the Browns versus the Rams.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.